Let us now understand more about constants. So constants are block scoped, much like the variables defined using the let statement. The value of a constant cannot change through reassignment and it cannot be redeclared. So let's take a look at the examples. We can declare a constant using the const statement. Okay, so let's declare a constant called say version and assign some value as say 1.0. Okay, so once I assign this value, I'll log this value to the console. Okay, now I will click on the run button in here and you can see the output getting logged onto the console. Okay, so at this point in time, constant is exactly like your var as well as let, right? But then now if you take a look at this output window and if you try to log in this version here, okay, you get the message version is not defined. Okay, now this is the exact behavior you had when you declared variable using the let statement, right?
So anything that you declare within the const
And
statement.
is not added to the window scope. For example, if I come back to this output and observe the window property, you will not find a property called as version, right? You get the message as undefined. Okay, now let us take a look at whether this constant can be reassigned or not. I'll clear the output window in here and come to this section of the code and I'll try to reassign the value of this constant to maybe 2.0, right? Now at this point in time, if I simply click on this run in here, you get the message that assignment to a constant variable, right? Type error. So this indicates that you cannot reassign the variable that you declare using the const statement. So now let us see whether we can redeclare the constant again, right? So I'll come back here to the redeclaration section. I'll try to redeclare the constant variable again. Okay, now I'll comment out this reassignment code so that we won't get unnecessary error. So at this point in time, if I try to log this, okay, even if I don't log it, you will still get the error message here, right? And the error message is identifier version has already been declared. So this indicates that once you declare a constant, you cannot do a redeclaration of the constant with the same name. Okay, so this is it kind of similar to the variable declare using the let statement as well. Okay, now let us take a look at a scenario wherein the constant becomes part of hosting, or whether this variable is declared using the constant statement is hosted or not. Okay, so let me clear this output window. So first I'll try to use the variable. So I'll say console.log maybe name. Say I have a constant called name, and then I'll define a constant name is equal to Rajesh. Okay, so at this point in time, now if we execute this code, you'll get the message. You're actually getting the previous version error. So I'll comment out this code as well, so that we don't get unnecessary output. Okay, so I'll clear the output and click on run again. Now you get the message in here. Okay, now if you execute this, you get the message reference error name is not defined, right? So now this indicates that this const name declaration that you had, right, is not hoisted. Okay, so this behavior is exactly same like the variable that you declare using the let statement. So variable declared using the const statement is not hoisted. Now let us see how this constant statement differs from the constant that we have in other languages like Java, C Sharp, or some other similar languages, right? So I'll come back in here and I'll comment out this unnecessary code. Okay, now I'll create a new const here. Okay, and I'll call it say numbers. Okay, and I'll put some values in it. Now we know that once we define a constant, we cannot reassign it, right? For example, if I try to create a new number now, for example, like this, or reassign a new number like this, it will not work, right? So it will give you the error that we just saw, right? So the error will be okay, assignment to constant variable, which is a type error. That means we cannot reassign. Okay, that's very clear from this example, right? But then this does not mean that we cannot add to this array. Now, one thing to note with the constant is Once you declare a variable using the const keyword, you cannot reassign, but then you can actually add properties and new values to that object. For example, since we declare an array here, I could say numbers dot push and say maybe a couple of values like this. So this will work. Okay, this is kind of different from other languages, the behavior that you find in C Sharp, Java, or some other similar languages, right? So if I log this value here, okay, you will see the value 1, 2, 3, and 4 getting printed onto the screen. Okay, so this is an important thing to note, right? So this is simply mean that you cannot reassign, but then if this constant is an object or an array, you can still add values to it, right? Let's take an example of an object literal and see this in action as well. So I'll comment out this code in here and come back in here and create a new constant. Maybe I'll call it as app, and I'll put some properties in it. So name is JavaScript. This is some object literal that we are creating and say it as a version of 1.0. This is a constant, right? It essentially means I cannot do this. I cannot say app equal to something else. So this will not work. Okay, so this will not work. Now if I clear the output and click on run, okay, you get the message. Okay, unexpected token because there shouldn't be a semicolon here, right? So I'll remove the semicolon and run the application again. Now you get the type error that assignment to constant variable, right? This is not allowed. But then since this is an object literal, I can come back in here and maybe I can modify this, right? So I could say app.name is equal to react. Okay, so this is allowed. For example, if I come back in here and log the app, okay, you will see the new value or new property getting reflected here, right? You get the new value react in here. Similarly, you can change the value as well. For example, I could also add new property to this. For example, app dot deployed is equal to true. Okay, I'm adding a new property. Okay, let's try this. And I'll log this value now. Console.log app. Console.log app. I'll clear the output and click on run again. Okay, and you get the new deployed property being added to the constant object, right? This is a note you have to make. So once you declare a variable using the const keyword, you cannot reassign it. But then if the variable that you're declaring is an array or an object, you can modify or add properties and values to it. Okay, so I hope this makes constant very clear to you.